two, three, two, one. We are live. Hello. Good evening, Internet Land, and happy Tuesday. I'm Big D, the Gamecraft Dragon. Lady Dragon is not with me tonight. She is in a little bit of pain. So, flying solo tonight. Commodore, good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. How are we doing? Well, here we are, mid-December. A little over a week from Christmas. And not a lot going on. I mean, a little bit here and there. Not a lot. Not a lot of news. Lots of projects. So let's talk about what's on the bench. Lady Dre, she's not here. So she's hard at work on her Age of Sigmar Cornish army. She's got this guy based. I think she's almost done with him. And she's working now back on her Ynnari army, working on her Lady Yvraine. So I'm very proud of her with that. She's also working on one of her Christmas presents from me, this demonic chick that's also from the Blades of Corn. But she didn't like the head, so she swapped out the head with something cooler. And I kind of dig what she did there. I'm going to put a wash on the bottom. I think it's way too late for Failcast. Mike, how you doing? Good to see you, Mike. Let's see. What's Big D working on? Well, as you can see behind me, I'm working on a large number of my Stormcast. I was talking to some Stormcast players at the store and getting some tips and tricks. Chris, good to see you. So I'm working on the Stormcast. I also got a package from Horde Obits of some pieces that I'm going to be using for my upcoming challenge. Some armor plates. I've been going through a couple of my other things. I'm got some great ideas for my speeder tank hover thing. So I'm looking forward to be challenged. But you got to hang with the big dog. That's me. I'm the big dog. Big dog. So people got to bring it. Bring it to get out. Yeah, it's Valkyrie the Bloody. And like I said, she didn't like the head that was on her. So she took the head from Knave Black Talon and put some demonic horns on it and put that in place. And it's a really good head. Looks nice. Looks really nice. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to this. I got my stick that I wanted to use. I pulled out some plastic card that I want to do with it. I've got a bunch of other bits. I was waiting on these, and I'm going to start taping and putting this thing together because I've got some definite plans on how I want this thing to come together. So I'm super stoked. This is going to be great. I'm happy. I'm a happy guy. Chris, Sign, how you doing? Are you going to stay awake this time? Or are you going to go to sleep again? I heard you went to sleep last time you mentioned. She also got a new figure. She went out. She's going to be incorporating her some of her Warcry stuff into her Cornish army. And since there's a thing in the new Slaves of Darkness book on how to incorporate them in, she got this chick because she wants to have a couple other dangerous looking chicks. There's actually a Chaos Warband out there called the Godsworn Hunt. That's a couple of it's like 3 chicks and 2 guys that There's an easy build kit for it. So I'm going to get it for her so she can add that to her army because I want to make my wife happy. Lord knows why, but I want to make her happy. So keep her happy, I guess. So yeah, she got stuff coming. And as everybody who was here Sunday, you saw the that I also got her that massive Elven box set that she's super stoked and happy about, which is good. Because that was my goal. To make her happy. But no, let's not mess the piece right now. What else I got in the bench? Commodore gifted me with the 2003 Game Day Wolf Priest figure. But I didn't want to leave the regular backpack on him, so I actually pulled out and busted out a jump pack and put that on him. So my Wolf Priest is going to have a jump pack. And I've been looking at how to incorporate him into my army. Seeing as there's a Thousand Suns player at my store that has challenged me and my wolves to combat, I cannot let that stand. So I'm working on a 2,000 point list. I'm gonna confirm his challenge. We're gonna play Sunday, potentially, and I'm gonna whoop that ass. The finals. Yeah, this was a gift from the Commodore. I want to point out this was a gift from the Commodore. He's only primed at this point, but I'm gonna give him some good work. Be all right. The finals for the Kill Team tournament are coming up. I ended up in third place. I could not roll an armor save or a wound check to save my life in that game. Good tactics. I mean, he played a great game. It was a really, 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 really good game. I mean, he played his butt off. My tactics were solid. He was actually really worried about the tactics I was rolling. And the dice gods just decided, not today. So I can't be mad. It wasn't like I played horribly. It wasn't like I didn't play well. It wasn't that I didn't perform. The dice were just not with me that day. So it happens. But it was a good game. It was a very good game. The two guys that are playing, one of them is the completely undefeated bracket. So he and I have talked. He and I are just going to play for fun at some point because there's a really weird list for Kill Team. It's kind of dumb, actually. I want to try and fight. Well, it's dumb. I think it's like one Terminator. Or it might just be one. It's one Chaos Marine figure, and then just a crap load of cultists, and he basically swarms with his cultists to take objectives, and there's just not enough DACA to get rid of all the bodies that are on the objectives. So it's a viable strategy. I have a couple lists that I think bring enough DACA that I think I could handle that army. But I mean, there's just lots and lots and lots of rounds. So I mean, it's got to be, I got to use the grenade. I got to use the frag grenade every single round and try and kill as many targets with that. I got to take as many rapid fire weapons as possible, bring as much high volume fire as possible. I've actually got one version of my list that has two guys with storm bolters, so that might get some work in too. So we'll see. Not saying it wouldn't be a tough army. It would be a pretty tough army. I mean, 18 bodies. I was playing guard and he had like 14 bodies. And I've got my wolf army has 6. The different configurations I do, I basically have 5 or 6 bodies on the table. So it's tough. I really love Kill Team, and I know I've been talking about it a bit, but I really, actually, really love the game. I really love the arena version of the game. So I'm thinking when I have a little bit of cash saved up, I think that's going to be the next big purchase. Because I've been looking at a couple of things, and I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. I think I'm going to get a copy of Arena, so that we have a copy here to play. That being said, what would you guys think about it? Hopefully this weekend you're going to get a battle report for the 2,500 point, um, the 2,500 point 40K game should be up for my content this week. What would you guys think about me doing like a Kill Team battle report as a semi-regular thing here? Would you guys dig something like that? Because I like Kill Team. I play it a lot. I enjoy it immensely, and it's much quicker to play than say 40K. Don't get me wrong, I love 40K, but 40K is 2, 3 hour, 4 hour, commitment. And to do a battle report, I mean, you got to have a good. The battle report I'm doing is really casual. It's not. It's it's an experiment. I'll just leave it at that. But I mean, I really like Kill Team, so I'm thinking, if I do a Kill Team, you can stick one camera over the top of a Kill Team board and watch the entire game from that one perspective because the board's not very big. And that way I can, I got a bunch of friends that play it. I know a couple of people that know it. So the whole idea of doing, you know, maybe a once a month or a twice a month Kill Team bat rep, even if I'm playing Lady Dragons, she's got a Custodes Kill Team unit, and she's got a Drukhari. She's got a Witches Kill Team that would be really, really tough to handle in arena because that's just a lot of freaking bodies. So uh, we'll look at it. Again, I'm a fan. We were talking about doing the same thing for Warcry. Once I get my custom Warcry board done, I think doing a bat rep on my Urudu, my Savannah board. When I get that Savannah board done, I think doing a bat rep on that Savannah board would be kind of cool. So, hey, Ben. So yeah, I think we'll do some bat. Yeah, I think and I got to thank Ben because Ben's the guy that really pushed Arena. He's the guy that organized the tournament at the store, and he turned me on to Arena, and I think it's my favorite version of of Kill Team. I think because it's designed to be competitive, so you can't go, oh, you had board advantage. Hey, Tina, you can't claim that you had board advantage or, oh, the terrain was set up in your favor, blah, blah. The boards are absolutely mirrored. So the board's the same, doesn't matter. So it's all about, how to play the game and what the objectives and what the situations for the game. So Tempesta Science, I've seen a couple lists, and one of the ones I see, Boo. Hey Al, how you doing? Um, I've seen Imperial Guard, and everybody talks about, we'll use Tempesta Science, and I'd like to see actually a pure Tempesta Science group because they bring a lot more firepower to the game. Um, I was playing against, I want to say one of the rounds I played against a Tempesta Science group, and he just couldn't score points on me. But he wasn't hurting me. Wait a minute, the Eversworn Assassin, can they actually be used in Kill Team? I would imagine they got to be a commander level. That's campaign setting. There's a thought about putting together a Kill Team campaign. I'd have to, I don't know. I also have another Kill Team I'm putting together. I'm going to be doing these guys, which are the Gellerpox infected. I don't know how effective they are, although I imagine in arena they'd be really good. Hey, Bringer, how you doing? I just really want to paint them. They're just again, knocking out of the park. Really great sculpts. Really, really great sculpts. So that's what we got on the bench. We got a bunch of Stormcast. We got those guys, both Priest and Bits. News and stuff. Not a lot going on. There's a new piece of fiction. I haven't read it over. I don't know if it's for the next book or it's a supplement to the existing book, the Faith and Fury book. Or the Wrath of Baal. I'm not sure. I haven't looked at it yet. So I haven't looked at it that much. Hey, Squig Boss. So I haven't looked at it yet to really see what's going on with that. They've got an old Chaos Dwarf what do you call it? Blood Bowl team that they're producing for a week. So if you want that old team, they're available for like a week. Yeah, witches are absolutely terrifying in Kill Team. They just, especially if they got combat drugs and the feel no pain and all that. They're pretty rough. I haven't played Blood Bowl in decades. I love the game. I can't say that. I play the computer version, which is the same game. I just don't have to paint figures or a board for it. But one of the things I've talked about is if I actually got back into playing Blood Bowl, I don't know anybody that plays Blood Bowl, unfortunately. So with nobody playing actively Blood Bowl, there's no drive for me to actually invest in Blood Bowl. I found a couple of my figures. I found like an Elven Thrower and an Elven Blitzer, and that's all I could find of all of them. I had by the mid '90s, I had a full Tomb Kings. They were called just Undead, but I had a Tomb Kings skeleton with a mummy team. That was like my main team, the Boot Hill Death with Jesters. Hey, Phoenix. I had my Dwarven Halfling team, the Paducah Cyclones. I had my Elven team, which was the Hollywood Stars. I had the Liverpool All Stars, which was a human team. I had the Moscow Machine, which was an orc, ogre, and snotling team. God. I had the Green Bay Hackers, which was a pure orc team, classic orc team. So yeah, I had a bunch of teams, and I don't know where. I've only been able to find two of the stars, and that is it. I have no idea where any of the rest of it went. So the impetus for me to start a new team is kind of like, someone else played, but nobody does. Nobody plays Blood Bowl. It's really popular in England again. Apparently, there's like major leagues over there, but it's just not popular here in the States. So I literally don't know anybody that plays it. So I think a really cool terrain thing would actually be building a pitch with the dugouts for the different statuses, and actually have stands and everything like that. It'd be kind of cool to actually have a nice you know, playboard for it that looks really cool. But again, if nobody's playing it, I can't see doing that. Nice, nice. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I've been looking at a couple different concepts for Kill Team though, because Kill Team's super popular where we are. Um, I mean, there's this league, and there was, I mean, not a league. There was this tournament, and there was like, Ben, how many people were actually in that tournament? It seemed like a lot. Um, it seemed like a lot of people were in the tournament. So, and you're seeing it played on a regular basis there. It's a great game. And I have, I have a Death Guard team for it. Obviously, I have a Wolf team for it. There were 19 people in the tournament, so that says something. I kind of want to do a Chaos team. Kind of want to do a Necrons team. I really want to do a Tyranid team, but yeah, I'll get to it. I want to do a Adeptus Mechanicus team. See that, and that's the really nice thing about it. You can start off with just one, maybe one or two units of figures, and play that. And then if you want more, you can build more. But if you don't really dig them for an army setting, but they're still okay for Kill Team, they're still fun for Kill Team. It's one of the reasons I thought about getting a box of Grey Knights. I couldn't see playing Grey Knights as a full-blown faction. I couldn't do it. They're not my play style. But there is some reality that in Kill Team, they're pretty nasty. Again, it's all about tactics and using things right. So no team, I don't think any team is really better than another, but they got some advantages that I really would like. So thoughts. Want to build some more Kill Team terrain. I think when I'm finally done with this whole series and I'm done with the Imperial Fortress series, I think the next piece of terrain I'm going to build is I've got some ideas for some Mechanicum styled terrain. You got a couple of second edition Space Orcs. Very nice. Those are great. I love them. They're a great figure. Speaking of which, terrain. There is less than a day left. I got to give you guys this link again because I am just promoting this because right now the very basic this thing, I got to show this off to you guys again. Okay, it's called Rampart on Kickstarter. And they are just about to break the 300,000 mark. Guys, if you want terrain for Kill Team, a $49 investment will get you a Kill Team's worth of terrain. Modular, so you can switch it up. And because they're just about to cross that 300,000 mark, they're less than 4 back the $49 pledge. We'll be getting a tank. I mean, we're talking a Layman Russ sized tank. It is a beautiful figure. Plus all the other stuff that's in that in their stretch goals. Their stretch goals are gorgeous. There's like 30, 35, 40 objects worth of terrain. Everything you need for at least one table's worth of Kill Team. Plus a set of the stuff you get for the stretch goals, which is a lot of really cool stuff to go with it. Then you're getting another group of extra pieces, And they're throwing in some figures for free. They're throwing in, yeah, they're throwing in they're throwing in a bunch of figures, which it looks like one of them's a really nice version of a commissar. The big snaky alien things, I don't even know what I'm going to do with them, but they're gorgeous. I'm going to probably give them to Shannon, let her paint them. And then there's these other guys that look like Space Marines, maybe Tempestus Science. I haven't gotten a look at them, but they're good figures, and you're getting a squad of like 5 of them. Dude, that sounds great. I mean, Blood Bowl. Again, I was in a Blood Bowl league for 2 years. We'd play 16 games. We played weekly, played 16 games, play a 16-game season, have standard NFL style playoffs, and then we'd take 2 months off, and then we'd go back and do it again. And we did this for, I want to say 2 years, 3 years. We did it for a while. We were doing it for a while, and it was the smallest it ever got was 8 guys, but we had at one point, I think we had 16 players. It's a great game. If I could get more people playing Blood Bowl, I'd bother doing it because it is a great game. So anyhow, with this terrain, that link I put there, $49 gets you a ton of terrain. If you're not backing it and you're a guy that wants terrain for your table, you want terrain to play on, this is great stuff. I mean, it is gorgeous stuff. $49, and it's GW quality stuff. I mean, Squidmars looked at it. Like 4 other people that I know on YouTube that are really good. Squidmar, Spiky Bits. I forget who the other 2 that I looked at. Jack of Spades, I think, was the other one that I know of off the top of my head. But Squidmar and Spiky Bits both looked at it, and I mean, they looked up close. It's GW quality sculpts. It's GW quality injection plastic. It's good stuff. $49 gets you a crap load of plastic. I can't suggest it enough. There's only 6 hours left. I'm just telling you because as the terrain guy, as the Gamecraft Dragon, if I had another $50 I could pull out of my butt, I would be getting the $99 version of the set. Totally. I would totally get the $99 version of the set. I may go in there and whine at my wife later and see if she'd be okay with me getting the $99 version of the set because it's a gorgeous kit. Commodore, you should get it. It's good. It's good stuff. And they have a Mechanicus version. If you don't want more of the Gothic church stuff, they have a Mechanicus edition that's really cool. They also have what they call the Kazumi. It's a freaking Mayan temple style stuff. It's great. Enough about that. I just want to make sure you guys know because it's got about 6 hours left before the Kickstarter closes. They need like $400 more, and they're going to unlock all of their freaking goals, and that's going to be amazing. And that's the whole thing. If you get in, you get all their stretch goals. And like I said, the big one is if they break the $300,000 mark, they're sending out a freaking tank, a GW combat scale, 32 millimeter scale tank. And it's a beautiful, highly detailed tank. So I want you to get it, and then you can give it to me. No, I'm just kidding. No, I do it. It's great. I mean, it's a great kit. And the thing that's nice about it is it's designed. Come on, you know you want it. It's good stuff. The thing that's nice about it is that you can set it up with magnets in it because it's got plug holes in it. So you could put they're designed 5 millimeter magnets. So you build all the pieces. You don't glue them together. You build and paint the pieces, and then they're magnetized. You can just magnetize the whole thing together however you want. Or it comes with a set of pegs. So if you don't want to magnetize, it's got these snap fit pegs like Legos that the whole thing can snap together. You can set it up one way, take it apart, set it up a different way, however you want. I want the tank too. I'll be honest. I want the tank. I want the tank. Not gonna lie. And they're only $400 from me getting a tank. So if you have a use for terrain, get it. It's beautiful. And I know I don't have a lot of them here, but I have a couple role players in here. It's the Gothic Cathedral stuff is D&D quality stuff. You could make terrain for your D&D game with it. Same with the Kazubi Temple. Having a lost temple in the jungle, you walk in and get this Aztec-looking temple, and it's piecemeal. Again, you get to put it together however you want. And they're all compatible. And after the Kickstarter, the company that does these, they have the basic kits for sale afterwards as well. They're basically doing this to fund a new set of molds for some of their extra pieces and a new set. They're I forget what they call it. I think it's their Forge something set, but it's basically a Mechanicum styled set. So they're using this to fund getting those molds made. But they have the other stuff on their store, so you can actually go to their regular shop and buy their stuff. Dude, elves though, I mean, they're cheesy as crap. Let's be honest. Elves and Blood Bowl are cheesy as crap. Those guys can throw the ball for days. I still like my dwarves. They handle elves. Get on the ground, lie there, cry about it. You're done. Phoenix, check out the link. Go look. Just look. I'm telling you, just look. And it's all fun to paint because it's all plastic. It's all plastic. Prime it, paint it, make it look beautiful, and you've got beautiful terrain. So, and a tank. And some guys. So some nice sci-fi looking figures. So there's that. Enough about the Kickstarter. I've been meaning to talk about it because I'm actually really excited about that. I've been thinking about getting their stuff for a bit because they have some of their stuff right on. Yeah, it is pretty. They've got some of the stuff right on their website and they've got for sale, but it's more expensive. These guys have had 8 Kickstarters. Every single one has launched. Every single one is delivered. They've got a proven record and they do good stuff. So yeah, if you get it, it's not being delivered until I think July is their drop date. That's when they'll actually be shipping it out. But man, I have to find it. Like I said, I just pulled them up briefly and they're sitting on a counter over there somewhere on the bench. Because you guys remember, I've got my bench here. I pulled them out when I was looking for figures. And I've got, like I said, I found the Elven Thrower, the one that's pointing like this. He's up like this. He's got the long, gorgeous mop of Bowie hair with the faceplate on. And then I found the Blitzer that's charging forward with the fencing mask on, with the short hair. And they're, again, really good figures. Metal figures, the ancient metal figures, but they're really, really great. And yeah, there's Blood Bowl's good stuff. I mean, there's a new Ogre team that they did some brand new sculpts for. And again, they've got the old Chaos Dwarf team with Hobgoblins. I had a couple of people ask me about that, and they were like, you were just talking about these guys. And I'm like, I just happened to have a conversation about Hobgoblins. We were talking about the other day in here. And what do you know, the day after we were talking about them, they put them on their website for sale. It's like, yeah, they're not Gobos, they're not Gretchen, they're Hobgoblins, and they're normally associated with the dwarves because the dwarves enslaved them or something. So, and that Chaos Dwarf Centaur, that's actually just a great figure. It's just a big, beefy ram centaur with that weird beard that those guys that they do. You know, that what do you want to call it? That Mesopotamian style, the coil beards. Those are just weird looking figures. I love them, but they're just weird. Funny fact, those are actually from Blood Bowl 2nd edition. They weren't in the original launch. The original launch had a lot of teams. Sumerian, yeah, you're right. Sumerian, I'm right. Not Babylonian, Sumerian. The original launch didn't have them. And they didn't have a difference between high elves and wood elves. They just were elves. But there were dark elves. And instead of having the problem of not getting up from the ground because they're crying, because they don't like pain, they had the whole, it's too bright outside, I can't deal with it. They were emo elves. They were hilarious. Um, like I said, it's a fun game. Atomic Dog, what's up, my man? Yeah, just today is Taco Tuesday. I just finished my tacos. I made tacos, ate tacos. I like tacos. It's Taco Tuesday. As Rogel Dorn would have it, it is Taco Tuesday. What else? Talking about Kill Team. Yeah, I'm thinking about building a couple other. I mean, I've got, like I said, I've got my wolves. I'm actually thinking about building another faction of Marines, to test out a paint scheme. Honestly, just to test out a paint scheme, and use them for Kill Team. But the problem is in Kill Team, the faction I'm looking to do, their ability isn't that good. I mean, it's kind of, it's very meh. It's actually very meh. It's a 6-up. It's a 6-up invul save. But the problem is I want to do the paint scheme, because what I want to do, my wife is beeping at me in Discord. One more backer. Come on. Somebody's got to do it. The idea I have, I want to do a group of Marines in blacks and blues. I'm going to run them as Iron Hands. But instead of having the Iron Hand symbol on their shoulder, they're going to have a skull with tentacles coming off the bottom of it. And they'll be the Sons of Hydra. So, yeah, Hail Hydra. And so I have this idea for a paint scheme with them. Yes, Hail Hydra. I have this idea for a paint scheme for a group of Marines to do a custom paint scheme. And I found the shoulder pads out on Pop Goes the Monkey. So I can actually get the Hydra, the Hail Hydra shoulder pads, so I can actually have them with the nice raised shoulder pads for their unit. So I'm thinking about it. I don't know if I'm sold yet, but I'm thinking about it. The problem is that I still want the other half of the well, the idea, I would actually, for all the units, again, this would be a Majorly Bits army. All the units, no matter what version they are, whether or not they're intercessors or they're reavers or they're commanders or whatnot, everybody is going to have the Reaver skull helmets. Everybody's going to be in the Reaver skull helmets. So, so I'm going to have to go to a bit shop and get like a bag of those heads to do this army. It's going to be a bits intensive army. I mean, that's the honest thing. Is if I do it, I'm going to want to get the upgrade sprues for the Iron Hands, because I want their weapons and their iconography, and I want their cybernetic hands and cybernetic legs and other cybernetic parts. I just don't want their shoulder pads. So I'm probably end up buying, if I do this, I'll probably end up buying the upgrade packs and then immediately turning around and putting the shoulders out on eBay, because I don't need the shoulders. And actually, no, the captain won't be in a Crossbones color. That'll be one of the lieutenants will be in the Crossbones color. The captain will be denoted because everyone else's colors are in dark blue, silver, and black. And the commander, the captain of the unit, the head cheese, you can tell he's a captain because his skull helmet is red. So I'll let you nerds, if you don't know that one, look it up. But yeah. But that's the whole idea. The entire army is going to have all skull helmets, and it's going to be the skull with the tentacles on the arm. I fell in love with the idea. I just got to get some bits to do them, and that's a slow build. That's a really low priority build, to be honest. I have so much other stuff I want to do first. I was thinking about just buying a couple. And the thing is, I can't do his Red Skull voice, but I can do his Matrix voice, which I might do. It's Mr. Anderson. On the one hand, you have a life, a promising career, a future with growth and potential. And on the other hand, you have a life of crime, which will lead you nowhere. So, yeah, Iron Space Nazis. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're Iron Space, Iron Sky. I mean, I'm not going to use Nazi symbolry because I'm vehemently, virulently, disgusting opposed to them. Now, I want to make the point. Historical figures, if I'm playing a historical game, there's a reason why Atomic Dog. It is literally my third favorite movie of all time. My absolute third favorite movie. And I say third because the two movies that are above it, nothing has ever come close to those two. But the two movies ahead of it are classics. And that one is, in my mind, also classic. So that is my number 3 movie of all time. I'm Mr. Anderson. I watch it probably once every couple of months. And yes, I watch 2 and 3 as well. They are great movies. I'm excited for 4. If I'm playing a historical game, though, speaking historically, World War II, if I was to play a World War II war game, I wouldn't mind doing Nazis in World War II because it's a historical reenactment game. And that I'm okay with because it's a historical reenactment. Modern day real Nazis, Nazi fascist crap, emulating it, supporting it, all that crap. I'm just telling you right now, that crap, we're not doing politics, sweetie. We're talking about something real quick. So yeah, I just want to be clear because, and the reason I make this point, I'm going to quick make this point out here, because there are a couple other 40K channels out there and a couple other 40K fans that are really into the whole fascist portion of 40K, and they like support it. It's like, no, it's not good. That's the whole point. It's grim dark because it's bad. But that being said, and I'm going to move on because I'm not going to talk politics because it's a gaming and fun channel. So that being said, that's why I would do Hydra, because Hydra is a comic book bad guys, and I dig that. That's funny. Okay, so the number 1 and 2 movies. Well, the number 2, you can actually blame Alex for, because he's actually turned me on to the movie when I was way too young for it, but I still thought it was hilarious. And the number 2 movie is The Blues Brothers. In my mind, that is more laughs a minute than any other movie I've ever seen. I can watch that movie now 40 years later, and that movie still makes me gut bust laughter. Yeah, because of the whole bridge scene. And okay, just so anybody who knows, if you've never seen the Blues Brothers, if you've never seen the Blues Brothers, There is a scene where they're jumping off of there's cars flying off a bridge. That bridge was here in Milwaukee. And it was kind of a landmark because it was an overpass that they never finished because they never knew what to do about it. And so and my brother Al, he used to talk about the movie, and there's a whole thing with that overpass and the bridge and the other bridge that leads to the home bridge. Lots of stories, lots of family stories about that bridge, because that bridge was not in use for a while, and the first people to use it were not the fire department or police department. It was the cabbies in Milwaukee, because it was a quick way to get from the north side to the south side on the far eastern part of town. And somebody there used to be a cab driver. So so yeah, there was that bridge is just kind of a famous thing here in town. So and it's just a funny movie. It's great music. God, the music in that movie, just great music. You gotta think about what you gotta do to me. Yeah, it's great music. The number one movie for me all time, um, honestly, in my opinion, and I do say this as opinion, but it is in my mind, the finest crafted. Yeah, that was the whole thing. He was there during the filming, so the finest crafted movie I have ever seen. A movie where virtually every scene is a painting. Every scene is so perfectly blocked, so perfectly set up. The camera work, the visuals, the imagery, it all flows together. The movie itself is an absolute masterpiece of a film. One of the great things about the film is the fact that it's a modern film, and yet if you don't see the original cut, if you see the director's cut, you realize the movie has very, very little dialogue in it. There's a lot of scenes that are just told by subtle movements, a word or two, and action, and just movement, the atmosphere of the film. The atmosphere of film tells all the story. Yes, there's action. Yes, there's words. Yes, there's dialogue. But there are large stretches of the movie where the score tells the story, and the characters don't speak very much. Um, and yeah, in my mind, it is, simply put, the finest crafted film I've ever seen. And I'm a movie buff. I am a huge movie buff. But the director's cut of Blade Runner is a stunning. There is no movie in its league in my mind. Considering the theatrical cut is still a great movie, but the director's cut is just so much more. Ridley Scott, it is a piece of art. It is an absolute gorgeous piece of art. I can't say enough about that film. There's just nothing that compares to it. And the funny thing is Matrix, the first one, moved into number 3, pushing my old number 3 out, which was another John Belushi movie, which would be Animal House. The second funniest movie ever made, in my mind. It just makes me die. I watch that movie and just die. It's so funny. So, and then Alien, the original Alien comes in at number 5. Just again, Ridley Scott. Just a stunning piece of film work. So those are my top 5. I'd like to hear yours. Put them in the comments below. That'd be interesting. Not a movie channel, but interesting to talk about. And that's the thing. My choices in my favorite films temper the way I like gaming. They temper a lot of the things I like. I like Cyberpunk. Good film. Gladiator's a good film. I dig it. It is. I think it's a top 15 for me. Yeah. Animal House. Well, I mean, it's where half the guys from National Lampoon went to school. It's yeah. Animal House is just such a damn funny movie. Yeah. But those are the films that kind of temper the way I like my games. I like cyberpunk games. I like dark and gritty. I like dark, grimy, gritty movies. Glory's a good film. Glory's a good film. Looking at historical films, there's a number of really good historical films. I like historical drama pieces. Amistad is a great film. The Patriot is a great film. Last Samurai. Oh, that movie gets me. We Were Soldiers. 47 Ronin. Yes. Yeah. Blazing Saddles. Blazing Saddles is a top 10 film for me. Blazing Saddles is a top 10 film for me. Yeah. We Were Soldiers. God. Hamburger Hill, another great film. Actually, a movie that's moved into my top 10 as a newer movie that I have to thank Lady D for. If you have not seen Gran Torino, wow, what a film. What an amazing film. I like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I gotta say, there is one Steve Martin film I like better than Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and that's Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. That is a classic comedy. That's a hell of a movie. That's a wow piece for me. I love that one. So, well, that's a hell of a swing. Talk about movies tonight. Yeah. Yeah, and I gotta say, the Marvel movies, I can't even put them in my top 10, not because I don't think they belong there, but they're just such you can't look at them as one film. I mean, you can, but you can't. They're just so much altogether. Kind of the same way I look at the Star Wars films. Because there's good Star Wars films, there's bad Star Wars films, and there's mediocre Star Wars films. But the whole thing tells such a big, sweeping story. They kind of go, okay, Star Wars are exempt from being in top 10 sets. Marvel movies are exempt from being in anything in my top 10. And why are we talking about movies? Because I hail Hydra, woman. Yeah, the wife is in bed, but she can hear us from the other room, and she's on Discord, and it's like, What are y'all talking about movies for? Oh. um, and I realized it's us keeping ourselves on track because we have no Zane. Oh my God, no Zane tonight. But I gotta, quick going up there. Good, the bad, and the ugly. Good, the bad, and the ugly. That is, again, that's again, I don't know if it's a top 10, but it's definitely a top 15. That and Tombstone. Um, another movie that just Wide Earp was so bad, but Tombstone was so good, and it's the same movie. How the hell? How the hell do you do two movies about the exact same thing and with top-notch actors, and one can be so good and one can be so bad? Oh. um and again, Tombstone's one of the reasons I like playing Western role playing games. And I actually want to. There is a Weird West miniatures. What do you call it? Tactical, like a squad, like a kill team or a Necromunda. I cannot think of the name of it, but it's a squad based game. And it's not the one by Mantic, because Mantic has one too. They have a Weird West one. Yes, Wild West Exodus. That's it. That's it. That game, I have not had a chance to play that game, but God, those models are so beautiful. They are so gorgeous. And I'm trying to think of the other. What's the one? Does anybody remember what the name of the? There's another Weird West game by Mantic. That's really cool. I was looking at their figures because they're heroic scale figures. So they're actually more along the lines of the size of Age of Sigmar figures, but they're these weird I should say, steampunk Weird West figures. While that West Exodus is more of a standard 28, 25 millimeter, but this other one, they're bigger. And it's by Weird Games, WYRD Games. And they're still romantic, I think. But that's another. No, there was Deadlands. No, it's a newer one. They just did like a new edition of it. And I don't want to go swinging off channel to do it again. I actually have a bunch of the Deadlands figures. I actually want to paint some up just because they are. And the problem is because I do all my playing in the 40K stuff. It's like, oh, do I want to get another game? Well, I do. I want to get Flames of War, but that's World War II. I kind of want to get Bolt Action, which is also World War II, but that's more squad based, but regular miniatures. Where Flames of War is like tanks. They're like heroic size, 6 millimeter, 15 millimeter. You make me look it up. Those are some. Oh, connectivity here. There we go. Yeah, Malifaux. That's the other one. But yeah, Wild West Exodus, Malifaux. Yes, glad to hear it. Tanks for everyone. Tanks. Very nice. Very nice. Excellent. So, oh, so that's actually good to hear. All right. Let's move on. We've talked about movies. We talked about Wild West miniatures games, which I think there should be more of. Orcs. Tanks for Tuesdays. Man, I tell you, Flames of War, their starter kit comes with a crap load of plastic and a bunch of tanks in it, and it's 50 freaking bucks. That's it. Who the hell does a starter game for under 100 or under 150 these days? The freaking starter box has like 12 tanks in it, and it's 50 bucks. That's getting hard to say no to. I'm a big fan of World War II armor and World War II stuff. Thanks to certain people in the channel. And it's pretty cool. I'd love to do like a Hogan's Heroes type. No, not Hogan's Heroes. What am I thinking? Not Hogan's Heroes. Rat Patrol. See if that's possible to do in that game. Do a bunch of the Jeeps with the 50 cals on them. That'd be a lot of fun. That'd be kind of a fun game. No, not you, Al. You had nothing to do with teaching me about World War II and all the different stuff in there. Kelly's Heroes would be another. Yeah, Kelly's Heroes would be another great film. And yeah, a World War II team based off Kelly's Heroes, except it's not one tank. Actually, for Flames of War, they're smaller than that. Actually, I can tell you because the old Axis and Allies collectible game, the tanks. So, the only way to do it is like to show you with my hand. Because I have one somewhere in my box over here. I've got a Flame Source 15 millimeter. I was going to say I think they're I just blame him for everything, and then whatever doesn't stick, I lie about. That's what I do. Flames of War, because I know the Sherman. No, not the Sherman. The Tiger. The Tiger 2. One of them. It's like this big. So if you do this with your hand and just bend your fingers like this, you'll get what I mean. That's about the size of the big tanks, like the Tiger 2. The Shermans are smaller. And it's a great game. I mean, I've seen it played. There's a regular, actually, the Badger Wargaming Club runs regular games here in Milwaukee. Like every week, they have they have a Thursday night throwdown where they have like 4 tables going every week, and they're great. And that's the length. That is the length of the tank. That's the length of the tank. And they're probably at most, I would say they're probably like an inch tall at most. They're if I get the starter box, I'll bring a couple over. Actually, what I'll do is I'll find my my Axis and Allies. The collectible collectible miniatures gaming was really popular for a while there. They did there's like HeroClix, and then there was a fantasy thing, and then they had a BattleTech Clicks game. They had all these different Clicks games, and then because TSR, which was bought by Wizard of the Coast, and that's the thing. I think those are I think those are 1/44th scale. I think that's the scale of those tanks. I think they're 1/44th. But Axis and Allies, as you know, is a Milton Bradley game. They're 1/100th. Well, there you go. They're 1/100th scale. Okay. Hasbro bought Avalon Hill and Milton Bradley and Parker Brothers. I think they bought all 3 of them. And so they had all these board game intellectual properties. And they did this while I was working for Wizards of the Coast as part of their... I love HeroClix. I have boxes of them back here. I want to use them for conversion pieces, really, because I don't play HeroClix anymore. Art of Tactics. Okay. Um, but the three of them, those three companies were bought by Hasbro. Hasbro, in turn, turned around and bought Wizards of the Coast just after Wizards of the Coast bought TSR. So the guys that made Magic the Gathering made enough money to buy Dungeons and Dragons. And then they were bought by the guy that owned everything else as far as properties, G.I. Joe, Transformers, all that stuff, and then all the board game stuff. So they, for a while there, were doing their own. They had the D&D collectible miniatures. They didn't show anything, but they were just figures that were pre-painted. And when that was a big craze, Axis and Allies was starting to have a resurgence in popularity, and they made like three or four different versions of games of Axis. I'm looking at them because I own them all because I got them when I was working at Wizards of the Coast. So that Axis and Allies D-Day, which is basically Axis and Allies game designed specifically just to do the D-Day invasion game. Then they have Axis and Allies Pacific Theater, which is Axis and Allies, but it's a two-player game, and it's a three-player game really, but it's really just the Americans, the Brits, and the Japanese, and it's just a huge Pacific War game. And then there's 1941, which is basically a repackaging of the original Axis and Allies. Well, at the same time, they're like, well, these collectible miniatures games are getting all popular. So they did I guess it's a 1/100th scale. That's a really great use for them, Mike. They did a 1/100th scale tanks and Axis and Allies. And it wasn't just tanks, because they had tanks and armored cars and jeeps and machine gun emplacements and airplanes. So there was a whole bunch of stuff with that. And then at the same time, they did their own version of Axis and Allies Pacific, where they did these tiny ships. I gotta find my ships because I only got a couple boxes of those. But one of the ships I got was the Yamamoto. I actually have this pre-painted scale model of the Yamamoto. And to give you an idea of the scale, it's probably the size of a tongue depressor. So the Yamamoto I have is the size of your standard tongue depressor. And it's one of the biggest ships in that set. Was that what it was called? I mean, the models were great. I mean, they had aircraft carrier. I only got like one or two boosters. But they were really cool looking figures. Yeah, they were pretty great. And I know my brother Al is a real fan of ships and whatnot. So sorry, you're right, Yamato. All American, I mispronounce shit. That's what we do. We mispronounce stuff. Sorry. You're not American-ish. You are, but you're not. You're weird. Damn immigrant. Nah, I'm just kidding. Oh, what else I got going on? I don't know. I'm talking to anybody. Did some digging around. I don't know if I showed this guys off to you guys. I've been, like I said, I've been digging around some of my old figures. I've been cleaning out boxes. With Ray going to Georgia, there's some of my stuff he's taken with, and because he's been digging through some of my boxes, I've been finding things that have gotten misplaced over the years. One of the things I found is a original Commissar from the original Plastic Imperial Guard box set. It's a lead body with plastic arms head. I should say it's a lead arms and legs with a lead torso and legs. And it's got plastic arms, gun, and head. And I found like a half dozen of these old Imperial Guard. So, but it's a Commissar with a las gun. Because originally when these guys got released, these guys were the sergeants. There wasn't one Commissar. A squad of Imperial Guard had a Commissar that led them. And then they kind of moved the Commissar off to be a leader, and then they had sergeants. But like when they first came out, there was like one Commissar per squad. So I found him, and I found a bunch of his other guys. So yes, there's always a way to improve pre-done stuff. I actually took a bunch of my extra figures. I was playing a Mike Craft On. Thank you so much for coming in, buddy. Appreciate you coming by. Hit that like button. Zane, oh my god, he finally shows up. Well, time to go, guys. We're done. No, yeah, I might, like I said, I want to do a guard kill team. Somebody else wants to do a Tempestus Scions kill team, so I might hold off on doing guard for kill team until she's got her team put together, because I want to let her do her thing. Zane, show up in Discord. I'll give you we'll talk about the rights so I can get you set up so you can take care of that crap for me. We can talk about it. Let's see here. I was saying, I took a HeroClix when I stopped playing, but I was playing actually. I was playing a online MMO called City of Heroes, which is if you're not familiar with City of Heroes, it's a online. It's an online superhero RPG MMO. Yeah, I did. I was away from the computer. Zane, it's been just crazy the last few days. Busy. And then you weren't there when I was done with the stream, and I forgot about it, and then I went to bed. So I'm sorry. I apologize. But I started doing some custom figures for a bunch of the people in my super group. And I was using figures there, and I was kit bashing them, and I made like 4 or 5. And I made like 4 or 5. I'm not showing you online, Zane, so that's why I don't. And I did a few of them like that. It was pretty cool. I don't like the plastic those are made of, so they ended up not being really the greatest for kit bashing, because the plastic they're made from is kind of it's kind of squishy. It's kind of soft. It's on a par with the Bones stuff. It's got a lot of give, and plastic glue doesn't work on it. You got to use super glue. You know what, Zane? I'm with you. We're gonna blame the Lady Dragon for this. Everything. It's all her fault. So they weren't the best for kit bashing because of the softness of the plastic, but they're all right for repaints. You can at least strip them and repaint them. I actually did it with a bunch of my Mage Knight guys. I ended up stripping them and repainting them to learn Zenithal painting, because that was one of the first things I started doing when I got back into mini painting. I was running a D&D campaign, and I'm like, well, I can always use more orcs, and I can strip these guys because their paint jobs are horrific, because it looks like they're painted with enamels, but somehow instead of it being with a brush, it looks like they're enameled with they're enamel crayons because they're so awful. Um, and I ended up stripping them. I started trying to paint some of them, and they're pretty cool. So, I've got a few here and there. I've got a bunch that I stripped, and I ended up painting like 2 or 3 figures, and then I moved on to something else. Unfortunately, I started running my zombie apocalypse game, so I bought a box of secondary figures. They used to sell, or they may even still sell them for Zombicide. They sell like a zombie squad, which is like 27 zombies. I just painted all of them instead, and because I didn't care if they looked like too much crap anyhow, because they're dead. So they just need to look like dead, rotting flesh. It's not that hard. But it got me the handle on doing shading and got me in up to speed. You paint 27 figures all in the same paint scheme, trying to get techniques down, and you pick it up. Again, it's why one of the things I suggest to anybody who really wants to up their painting game but doesn't want to spend a lot of money to get there. Go to a dollar store, go to a Dollar Tree, and buy one of those dollar packs. They would work as poxwalkers. They actually would totally work as poxwalkers. They would totally work as poxwalkers. And for 25 bucks, you get 27 figures. So they're actually a little cheaper. It just none of them have any weapons. They're just shambling dudes in shredded clothing and whatnot. So, sorry, I got a splinter. Ow. But one of the things I suggest, if you're just trying to learn some good techniques, one of the things I suggest, you go to a dollar store and buy one of those dollar packs of army guys. You prime them and do your techniques on them. They're a bigger figure, but they've got a lot of different surfaces and a lot of different materials on them. So you can try different techniques and learn techniques on them. And if you ruin one, you got 30 figures for $1. And if they suck, you can throw them in the garbage. You're not losing anything there. So it's a good technique learner. I forget who pointed that out to me. It's a good way to do it. Plague Child. Free game online to use them with. What the free team use what with, Dave? I'm confused. Oh, huh. Well, that's cool. Well, I mean, and you think about it, for a lot of us, Army men were the first war gaming we played. We'd set up our Army men, we'd set up our tanks, and then friends would set up theirs. And all right, I shoot you here, and I shoot you there, and you shoot too. And then, I mean, that's where a lot of us war gamers got our starters, playing with Army men. Gingerbread House. All right, Atomic Dog. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate you. I'm looking forward to seeing your build, man. 3D printed models too. I mean, if you got a 3D printer, man, that is one of the new. I mean, it's the new hotness. I'll admit it. I really want one of those resin printers. The extruded plastic, I mean, that'd be good for terrain, and I know you can make them good for good figures. I know. I watched a huge tutorial on how to make the Ender 3 really, really, really good, and I wouldn't mind that. But I know some of the finer details you kind of want to get a resin printer, and the Anycubic Pro Photon is actually pretty reasonably priced right now. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Um, I mean that's the whole thing. I figure tax season. We picked up my foam cutter 1 year for tax season. I think we might get a resin printer this tax season. So, um, and then really take terrain building to a new level. So, all right, we're getting down the last 10 minutes. We've really covered what we want to talk about. So let's talk a little bit further about the let's talk about the contest, the kit bash build. Um, I'm really excited. I've got a lot of really good feedback from a number of people out there that are interested in doing this and are really excited about the kit bash build. Lady Dragon is actually now thinking about throwing in there to see what she can come up with. Like I said, I went to Hordo Bits and I had some specific bits I ordered because I have some definite ideas for what I want to do with my speeder. I got some other stuff to work with. Having a resin printer, Zane, and the print to put on your kit bashed. Miniac has a good one. 3D printed tabletop. I think that's the name of the channel. I think it's just called 3D printed tabletop. He's got an extensive. He's a D&D guy. He's a D&D channel, but he completely focuses on printing things, figures, terrain, and maintenance and care of your printer. He doesn't actually talks about the Ender 3 about because the Ender 3 is pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, I want to get a resin printer. I know it's a little stinky. Yeah, so I know it's a little stinky, but I don't really care. Let it be stinky. I want a resin one. I'm looking for this. I sent my brother one of those five-man Cadian squads, so you could see kind of the aesthetic of the guys and the size and scale. So that way he'd see what's going on. But being that he is a psycho modeler, I'm looking forward to see what he comes up with. I heard back from Goobertown. He actually loves the idea of me running this because he's the guy I got the idea from in the first place, and he's excited to see what comes out of this. Apparently, he regularly checks out my channel, so I'm excited by that because I'm a huge. If you don't watch Goobertown Hobbies, go subscribe and watch some of his videos. He is the Bob Ross of mini painting. He's just so then you pick your colors and you take your brush, and it's not going to be wrong. And if it's not what you wanted, you can always go back over it. He's just so awesome in his delivery. It's just such an awesome delivery. So Goobertown Hobby, the IDIC beer group, there's a bunch of people that are like, well, I'm into this. So I'm looking forward to see who all gets in. Like I said, I got the bits so I can actually start constructing mine now. So that will be forthcoming. As we come to the 9 o'clock hour, thoughts for the day. Thoughts for the week. Holidays are coming up. The hobby is a wonderful thing, and the hobby is a great way to spend time with friends. If you're lucky enough, you can also get to spend time with your family with the hobby. I'm lucky. I have a wife that loves the game. I have a pair of kids that like the game. I have a brother who loves modeling, and so I can talk about the build and the paint aspect. I could talk to him about the painting aspect and the building aspect and the that end of it and the hobby art portion with my brother, and he'll get it. Um, my niece has shown interest in the hobby and is looking at the figures and it's like these are really nice. And even if she doesn't play it, or if she does, but she enjoyed hanging out with us when we played a big game of it. I have good friends, and sometimes friends are as important as family. So do the stuff you love and do it with the people you love. And if they see how much you love it, they'll look into it too. And it's great something to have to share with all the people you love. Um, there's a lot of times when the only thing that keeps me sometimes in this hobby is the fact that I can sit down with my wife and we can sit here and just spend an evening painting and chatting, listening to music. So that's one of the best things about this hobby. Um, we're very unfortunate during this time of the year. There are people who don't have families and people who don't have loved ones and don't have a roof over their head or a meal to eat. Um, I do not ascribe to any specific charity. And it's not that I don't believe in charity. I just don't ascribe to any specific because every place has its own needs. So if you can help somebody during this holiday season, help because we are our own community and we have to show that we care about our fellow person. It's what makes us good people. And I know all you are good people. So that being said, love, joy, and creativity to you all. Epic your board, epic your game. As the Lady Dragon says, your only limitation is what you can dream of. And that's not just for crafting, that's for the world around you. So dream big, my friends. Epic your life. Thank you again. We'll see you this weekend. And I look forward to seeing you all next week, Tuesday. Have a great week and a happy holidays.